Hello, Dr. Hopper.
This is Evan here and Mark and Ruby, and we just finished up our third teaching session here at Arbutus for floor hockey.
Yep, so we just finished our third lesson, and this was their last day of school before spring break, so things were quite a bit hectic.
They were wired.
Yeah, trying to talk to them was pretty difficult. They're like really excited to be on spring break, but
Not as excited as the teachers.
Yeah, the teachers were really excited to be on spring break.
Jacked up.
They're just kind of like, do whatever you want. So, what did we do today? So
our last lesson, because so our first lesson was kind of a nightmare with having two classes. So we basically redid our first lesson plan for our second class, if that makes any sense. And it went over pretty well, I thought, just having a series of minor games, passing to the four cones and moving to space, and that was sort of the focus of our second lesson. And then our third one here was a bit more focused on, I guess, understanding your surroundings and moving to space. We started with the game of bag tag, or the penny, pull, and stop and go where you are.
what was nice about that is that the kids had played that really recently, just the class before, but a different variation of it. So then we brought it in with the bag tag, and we did the one where when you got the penny pulled, you had to be an octopus and try and grab someone else's penny. So that was great because it was a different variation. The kids liked it.
But they were still really familiar with it, so it was really easy transition for them.
Yeah.
And then after that, we, based on their sort of skill set with the hockey sticks, the games weren't really going that well. And we think that with time, we'd like to introduce them more. But we finished today's lesson with a game of end ball, yes. And that, I thought that went well. At the start, it was kind of clumped up all together, but I thought at the end they were moving the space way better. The last 2 minutes especially. Yeah. So I think
the team seemed to be pretty even, so the games went really well. Like, there were closer games than in past, so I think it worked out really well for them all.
Yeah, and then Ruby did a good job of modifying the game. Kind of got out of hand, and so we just changed a few things. Had them have to complete 5 passes before they could score the more dominant team, and then for the team that was struggling a bit more, we were able to just turn the net around, and things picked up. So it went well.
So what was different with our game of end ball compared to the usual games of end ball is that we use hockey nets and we turn them backwards against the wall, so they had to bank it off the wall before it went in. We did this kind of just as a safety precaution, just so that kids weren't whipping balls all the way down the court, and also to kind of just add a little bit more of a level of skill. And then, like Mark was saying, when one team was dominating, we turned the net the right side around so that it would be easier for the other team to score. It's just like a modification to make things easier for the other team. And comparing our first class to our second class, like the first class we did the reflection on, and as you knew, we had 2 classes together, so we had over 40 kids. It was pretty hectic, and the last 2 times we've taught, we've definitely had more reasonable numbers, like 24 or something like that.
Way more manageable. We were just easier to distribute them, move them around if need be,
get their attention, everything.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely gone good. I think what would have been really nice and what would have been something that would have made this a lot better for us is if we could have come in a little bit more regularly. It's just been hard with the Fridays and our own free time fitting this in. It would have probably been smarter if we did it during class time. Then that we would be coming in for sure.
Yeah, and I think just for the kids as well. We did one on Friday, February 14th or something, and then it was reading break, and then it was a pro D day for them.
Come see them for 3 weeks at least.
Coming back in and doing 2 more, just based on our schedules, is the one that worked out best. But I guess in hindsight, it's not the end of the world. It was sort of an introduction, so something to learn from, if anything.
Yeah, I think so.
And unfortunately with the timing, we weren't able to get a fourth lesson in, but based on what we had done, we were working towards sort of doing a 4th lesson of an Olympic theme, where we would have the team sort of split up and have a mini hockey tournament. That would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, we still are kind of thinking about doing that for our extension project, so we're probably going to talk to you about that and see if that's a possibility.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that.
They seem pretty excited about it, so we could hopefully make that work for them.
Yeah.
And the teacher was more than happy to have us come back in.
Yeah. I definitely think the guidance from the teaching perspective could have been a little bit better, but I'm just very appreciative that she has let us come into the class and has just been so accommodating to us.
Yeah.
We haven't got a lot of guidance or direction or feedback, but we just kind of work with it. I think the kids are our best feedback, whether or not they're playing well, passing to each other.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it. Do we have anything that we want to wrap up about what this teaching experience has taught us?
It's just given me personally more confidence. Just more time teaching always helps, and every little feedback you get from the kids or from anyone just helps. So I'm glad we just had the opportunity to get out here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think for me it was sort of my first time in a classroom as well. I was telling I guess our sponsor teacher,
Yeah.
Miss Hannah, anyway, that I was a little bit terrified the first time, and
Yeah.
rightfully so with 60 kids. But after that, it got better, and I think it went well.
Great.
Speak
That's
of
a wrap.
the devil, there they are.